everyone. Thanks for tuning in to our Season 8, Episode 2 review. And man, Reeps. First off, how you doing tonight?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm glad that The Walking Dead's kind of going in a little bit better direction, but we'll get into that, I'm sure.
Yeah, no, definitely. Anyways, back to where I was going here. Episode 2's in the books. I have to ask you, what were your first initial thoughts on that episode without getting into too much detail?
I like it. There was a lot of action. There was a lot going on, which is good because, especially in other seasons of The Walking Dead, except for the finale and series premiere, there wasn't a whole lot going on in the middle. I think they really carried the momentum forward from the first episode, and I think that's hopefully going to be the focus this season, where there's always something going on. That being said, I felt like there were a couple obtuse moments in the middle of the fighting where it just didn't really feel like it was written by someone that actually knew what they were talking about.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I think you're right. They are going to be doing a lot of battling. They're going to give the fans what they want. They might be listening to the critics a little too much with this season, but it is an all out war. So you got to expect that every episode is going to have a majority of the episode be battles. So let's get right into it. We got a few talking points we want to go over. What do you think Morgan's intentions are? Where's his head at right now?
I think there were a lot of characters with their eggs kind of scrambled during the middle of it. We saw Rick kind of lose his focus at the end of the episode, Daryl too, and Morgan was a big one that I kind of wasn't expecting as much. I was kind of hoping he was past everything with his little speech before they went in, where he's like, "Oh, I don't die." I was like, "Okay, let's go, let's get this
Oh
ready." And
yeah.
then I think he just got a little bit of the bloodlust up, and of course, it's TV, so they always got to kind of redredge up old issues for the characters to have them thinking about. But I think he's gonna come around. This is really just a little bit of distraction. I think just a little bit of something to flesh out the season. I don't know. What did you think?
Oh well, I was gonna say we all remember after Morgan lost his kid, he became crazy. He had all this "I have to clear" type of mentality, whatever that meant. That's a whole different story. But he met that guy in the woods, and he became a peaceful guy and vowed not to hurt anyone again until that kid got killed towards the end of the last season. And he's been a totally different person. It looks like when he loses somebody close to him like that, he just snaps. And I love to see this Morgan, man. No mercy, badass Morgan. That's the Morgan that I like, and I'm sure that most of the fans out there like as well.
I agree. He had a couple moments that, like, after he got up off the ground. First off, he and his group, I don't feel like should have been shot at the way they were. I really feel like they had that door handled and really should have taken care of the other group. But it's TV, and got to have that controversy. And then when Morgan got up, there were all kinds of assault rifles and everything laying on the ground, but he just scoops one pistol and gets going. I'm not really sure what his thought process was with that, but it seems to me like he would have picked up the more powerful weapon in the assault rifle and kept going. Like I said, I felt like there were a few moments in the show that were written by someone that may not have as much experience with that, and to me, it kind of killed the vibe a little bit.
Or it was written by a gamer initializing God mode. Mm-mm. Taking
He
everyone out
certainly
like
was in it when
nothing.
he was walking out of the building. That's right.
I know exactly. All right, so moving on. What's going on with Jesus, man? He's trying to give Negan's crew a chance, especially that guy in the closet. That was a big waste of time, wasn't it?
Oh, I agree, and I also felt like it was really unrealistic during the middle of a firefight where they're sitting there debating about that. But I really think that he's stayed consistent as a character. He's always been that kind of violence as a last resort only kind of guy. The thing that really surprised me was Tara, who was there in the room with him. She definitely should have just taken the guy out in the closet. It was her gut instinct, and there was one point where he was like, "I'm not going to let you shoot him." It's like, you don't have the gun in my hand, so she should have just shot him and then, dealt with the fallout later, in my opinion. But, like I said, sometimes you just got to flesh out an episode. And I felt like that's what that was. That was just 7 minutes of filler or a little bit in the story.
I'll tell you who wouldn't have hesitated to pull that trigger. Good old Carl, baby. That dude would have been dead before he even opened his mouth.
I agree. For once, I was like, we need more Carl in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of
That
there.
was the first time I ever felt that way.
I'm kind of there with that whole situation. Jesus has been consistent of a character with his emotional value of life, and which is fine. But what are you gonna do with all those saviors after the war is over? Let's say the war ended right now, and they have all those people. What do you think they're gonna do? Do you think they're just gonna listen to everything you say? Are you gonna exile them? Are you gonna have them work for you? I mean, because then you're becoming Negan kind of anyways. So he's trying not to be like Negan, but then like he's gonna be like Negan. It sounds kind of crazy.
Kind of goes back to my prediction from the last episode where I said that I really felt like they were going to become like a more benevolent version of what Negan's got going on. I think they'll wind up flipping them, be like, hey, you guys been butt heads up till now, but why don't you work for us? And we're gonna turn all this back around, and we'll pull you back into the fold.
All right, moving.
Practical, probably not. Practical, probably not. But it is TV. I think that's probably the way it'll wind up going.
All right, moving on to Rick now. Rick is in a special place. I feel like right now, man. This guy's all over the place. He's nuts. What do you think about him running into an old cast member from season one, Morales, and killing that father who ended up having a daughter in the room next to him?
I don't think he knew about the daughter in the room next to him. I think that was just one of those things that was supposed to hit you like, oh, crap. He didn't even realize it. But now I guess we know why the dude was fighting so hard when he was in there with Rick. As for him running into Morales, it sure is a small world in The Walking Dead, isn't it? They keep running into people from Atlanta, 400 miles away from where the show originally debuted.
Yeah.
Realistic? No, but I think it'll make for good TV.
It'll make for good TV. Now, if I'm not mistaken, when Morales left the cast, he left with his wife and he left with his two kids. Now, could that have been his son? We'll find out next week. Well, what are we? We're about 5 years of Walking Dead time into like the future.
I think they've been pretty vague on purpose, not telling you exactly how long it's been. I'd say it's probably been 3 to 5 years for sure. Probably closer to five, I'd say. You're probably right on that.
Yeah, okay. Well, then that we can throw that out the window then, because he was about Carl's age anyway. So, all right. Well, it had to have been somebody he maybe
Unless he
formed
had
a
another one,
relationship with. I
or he had another kid.
I could have sworn it was him, his wife, and two kids, but it could have happened. Like they said, he kind of just was like, "All right, screw y'all. I'm going on my own." So, eh, at the
And
time,
he did say a lot of things that happened, so I'm guessing that something has probably happened to his family at this point. But you never know. Maybe that is his child.
now, if he didn't see his dead kid or dead partner, whoever that Rick killed, why do you think he wasn't happy to see Rick?
I think he's one of the saviors. He said he already called one of them on the radio. My guess is he's just been working with Negan this whole time. But my thing is, if you've been around this whole time and you hear that they've got this killer cowboy named Rick out there that's also a sheriff or whatever, like they knew he was, why? How does he not put two and two together? Like, hey, I think I remember someone like that.
Yeah, and like go back to him because he saved his ass.
True, true. What do you think's going to happen with him going forward? How do you think that's going to play
Uh,
out?
I hope so. I do kind of feel like there's gonna be a chance for them to rekindle the relationship and him join the crew back. But I really hope that Rick kills him. I'm sick of that dude's face already.
I
Really?
agree. I think he's
Yeah.
going to wind up talking him down. I think he's going to wind up talking him down, and then as the saviors that he's called show up, Rick and him are going to jump him at the last second, maybe with Daryl's help. They've
Yeah.
already showed you Rick become an old man, so we know he's getting through it.
Dude, I'm telling you, that's a daydream, but I guess we'll have to wait and find out, huh?
Guess we'll see.
All right, Reeps, you know what time it is. It's time for the official Fireteam base rating. What you got?
I'm going to give it a 6.9. It was inconsistent with some of the action as to what reality would be, but it was better than the first episode where nobody could hit anything. I'm going to give it a 6.9 mostly because it was entertaining. There was a lot going on, and I stayed engaged through the whole time.
All right, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10 just because it was a episode that had battling the whole time. That is very, very rare in The Walking Dead. It's usually very slow, and then like the last 10 minutes of the episode is a battle. But I would have liked to have seen Negan in there. Probably would have gave it a better rating if we could. But yeah, I'm sticking at a solid 8. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I liked it better than the season premiere. So,
I can agree with you on that.
all right. Well, that sums up our review of season 8, episode 2 of The Walking Dead. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel to stay up to date with all things games, tech, unboxings, and more.
And let us know in the comments below what you think is going to happen in episode 3, and we'll see if you're right. You've heard my prediction, you've heard Beez's prediction, and let's see if you can get closer to the truth than we can.
Bees out. Yeah.
Keep reaping, guys.